You are not cursed. Let's find out what's really going on. We're going to start with the Phantom Wise Tarot. If this is your first time visiting my channel, my name is Shon. It is my pleasure to read for you. If you are a returner, thank you so much for coming back. All right, so the first card that you have is the Ace of Cups. Some of what you're experiencing is really about a grand love more so than it being a curse. The problem is that you have not loved yourself as much as you should, but you have tried to love yourself as much as you could. The things that have been happening in your life, whether they're repeating patterns or new things that are happening right now, are happening specifically to force you to practice self-love even more. I'm getting that there's been a history of undervaluing yourself in all kinds of situations, in personal relationships with friends and family, love relationships, in your work environment, just not seeing yourself as being special, important. And you don't even have to be special or important to be worthy. You just have to exist. There may have even been times when you have doubted your own existence because of the neglect or abandonment of others, not having a true sense of your own value. So these things that you've been experiencing, again, whether they're repeating patterns or new situations that are turning your life upside down in the moment, it is specifically to force you to look at, love yourself, affirm yourself, validate yourself, cherish yourself, be on your own side, listen to yourself, and believe yourself. There's a habit of self-doubt there. That habit of self-doubt is what makes life feel like a curse to you sometimes, or makes it feel as though you are cursed. That self-doubt gets in your way. It takes you out of flow. It takes you out of your highest good, that which is best for you, in the universe, from the universe, for the universe, because you are a gift, you are a blessing to the universe and the people in it. But the self-doubt gets in the way. The self-doubt keeps you from being able to fully exist. It's a habit of blaming yourself when things go wrong, a habit of accepting other people's versions of events over your own. There's almost like a need at this point to doubt the self, even though it is not serving you. It's a need at this point because it is the self-identity. Someone blamed you for things a lot. Do you identify as the scapegoat in your family of origin? Were you the one that was always trying to keep friend groups together, trying to make people see someone else's side, or over-explaining yourself? Do you have a tendency to over-explain yourself? Do you have a tendency to feel as though you are not understood because you are not seen? You're not seen because you're not showing people the real you. And you're not showing people the real you because you are not showing yourself the real you, or allowing the real you to live, fully live. You may have even forgotten true parts of yourself because they have been abandoned and neglected for so long. And don't blame yourself for that, okay? Look at this again as this invitation to love yourself more. The habit of not seeing the self was taught to you. We interact with life, we interact with the world, we frame the world and our experiences based on what happened around us, not even only to us, but also to us during our formative years. So this instance, this seeing of the self as small, or not seeing the self at all, this is the habit that needs to stop. Things often go wrong because they're not true fits for you, because they are not what you really want. They are not your highest good. They are not the calling of your soul, the calling of your actual just life here on the earth. Remember, the purpose of life is to enjoy life. And when things feel disconnected, discombobulated, when you are out of flow, it is because you are honoring someone else's version of events, someone else's reality, someone else's values over your own. When you are looking at that which is inherently right for you and choosing to accept that, you are naturally in flow. And life begins to feel like consistent blessings. Yeah, the feeling as though you are cursed comes from not loving the self enough, And, it's not your fault. Don't blame yourself. You don't even know how. The next card that you got is the moon. Your subconscious has been working this out for a long time. There's a part of you that wants to be hidden. There's a part of you that doesn't want to be seen. It's almost as though this was a safety thing for you. So in protecting the real self, you may have forgotten the real self. But definitely a feeling here of needing to awaken that cat, right? Awaken that sleeping cat. Think of that sleeping cat as the jewel that is you, the real you. Just nudge her awake. Bring her back. Let her live. Let her exist. Trust what she says. Trust your instincts. Cats are very, very, they're associated with like psychic abilities a lot. They're associated with independence and personal freedom a lot because cats are very independent. They have very strong instincts, and you are being counseled to trust yours, to listen to them more. You have to start recognizing the voice though. There's something here around having forgotten what you sound like. Because have you also been, you know, magpieing what others say? So not just living out what others have said to you about you or dictated to you as what they think reality is, but also have you adopted their viewpoints as your own so much to the point that you say them? Do you ever feel like a mirror of somebody else, or if you know anything about narcissistic family systems or narcissistic groups, like a flying monkey for another person, where you're basically just repeating, like a mouthpiece for this other person? Do you have the habit of doing that in general? If so, this is your permission to stop. The next card that you have is the Two of Cups. So someone is coming into your life that is going to be a mirror image of you, or exact fit for you, once you start working through some of this other stuff that has come up. You're not going to be able to connect with that person until you accept the true self, your true self, because they won't be able to recognize you until that happens. As long as you're pretending to be something you're not, as long as you are trying to, fit some sort of a norm or live out some sort of a narrative that is not authentically or organically you, this person will not be able to see you. You could walk right past them right now. You may have walked right past them today, and they won't notice you. Your aura is not yours. Your light is not shining, But know that this is coming forward for you. It's coming forward for you. This connection could be romantic. Very, very, very likely to be romantic with us having the cups energy in both spots, right? But it could also be a situation where there's a specific kind of partnership that you need for a project that you want to do or a type of work you want to be in, and meeting that right partner, that right fit for doing that. That will come along. That person will come along. That connection will be made. That collaboration will start once they can recognize you. So if the lack of flow or the feeling of stagnancy has been in the area of your profession or your calling or some sort of work you feel that you should be doing, whether you're paid for it or not, whether it's spiritual or not, it's about accepting. Like, have you been trying to do a path that isn't, like trying to force a path, but it's just not opening up, it's not working, it's not fitting? And is there a piece of you that has been actually relieved that it wasn't working out? That's because it wasn't really truly what you want. It wasn't really truly what you were meant to be doing. And once you dust off, once you, reawaken, again, awaken that which deep down inside is what you really want or what you're really meant to be doing work-wise, the path will change. And as you go towards that correct path for you, that's when this partner, this collaborator will come across, well, you'll come across them when you guys will cross paths. And that connection will be so right. I'm getting that it's not just that it'll be complementary, that you have what they need for what they're trying to do and they have what you need for what you're trying to do, but that there's also a sameness to you. Again, a like recognizes like kind of energy is what's coming through here with that. So no, you are not cursed. You are just out of flow. And you've been out of flow for so long. It's been a lifelong experience of not being in flow. And it's because early in the life, you learned to abandon the self, or you stopped being able to recognize the self. And you've been, in a way, and this is not accusation, living a lie for so long. And in living the wrong life, living in this lie, you're completely out of alignment. You're completely out of whack, off base. Things that you think, oh, yes, that's going to work. Yes, that's meant to be. You're thinking it based on the narrative around that which you adopted instead of that which is organically and uniquely you. And that's why when it didn't work out, it was confusing to you because you thought based on the paradigm you were trying to live, yes, this is going to work. But no, it wasn't the thing for you. It wasn't the person for you. It wasn't the place for you. But all of that is changing. All of that is changing. All of that is changing. Did you cry out this week? Did you cry hard? What the fuck is going on? Why is this happening? Why is this always happen? Do you find yourself saying that? Even despite looking at the patterns and trying to figure it out. I mean, I'm getting that you probably are not afraid of doing the inner work, but whose inner work are you doing? That of your true self or that of the false self that you've been living based on a narrative and a paradigm that is not truly you? Tell a new story about yourself. See yourself clearly and tell a new story. Be the star of your life. Stand in your power. Be in nobody's shadow. Don't even be in your own shadow. And you will make wise decisions as you go. You will know the way to go if you let yourself stay in flow. But you can only do that if you allow yourself to exist. And that begins with the love. The love of self is simply the acceptance of self. It doesn't have to be some warm, gushy feeling. It's just the acceptance of self, warts and all. I tend to believe that none of us have bad qualities. I tend to believe that we have qualities that the world has deemed as bad, just like we have qualities that the world has deemed are good. And all of them belong to us. I love every single one of my qualities, the good, the bad, and the ugly. And this frustrates some people. Some people want me to feel shame about certain parts of me, and I refuse to do that for them. They can go tend to their own garden, okay? And that is your guidance right now. Tend to your garden, and you will begin to feel your flow. Life will open up for you. It wants to. The universe wants to give you all the good things, but it wants to give you the right good things for you, right? Yeah, sit with that for a minute. This is your time. It starts today. What you thought was a curse is going away. It's no longer going to be there to weigh you down. You can do anything you want right now. Go forward. Be free. Accept yourself. Let yourself see who you are truly meant to be. As I will, so will it be.